Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So your right palm on your left and close your eyes, please. So focus your mind to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy. 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also, think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing your bodily posture, sensation, thoughts, and all the phenomena. Bring your attention to your body, please, and observe your posture, head to toes. Mentally, take a note. Just observe your physical posture, how the hands, legs, shoulders, and how the muscles interconnected. Even though we see this as one entity, observe how the parts interconnected and bring the name of the body. If it is possible, remain in unmovable posture. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again and observe the posture. Don't think over your body, just recognize the posture. Learn to see without judging, without thinking, without having any mental conversation. Learn just to see. Slowly observe the feelings arise in your body, any sensation, just recognize. And bring your attention to your thoughts and see how thought arise and disappear itself. Don't react to thoughts, just see. Bring your attention to the phenomena of four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, cause and conditions. Everything arises as a result of something. Your body, feeling, thoughts, this all arise as a result of phenomena. Place your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Just observe the sensation. And bring your attention to your body. So interconnect that all the four steps. See the body and see the feelings and see how the thought arise and see how the phenomena or the dharmata or the four elements, cause and effect, interconnect this everything and bring this moment as experience. Bring my attention to your body and observe the posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to Buddha's teaching, especially when we practice vipassana, there are few things we have to understand. So one is fundamentals, and other one is philosophy. So when it comes to Buddhism, there are few fundamentals things that you have to understand. Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path, and the related to mind, thoughts, and the mind, and regarding the Nibbana. So this kind of explanations and causality, cause and effect. So those are fundamentals. So when it comes to fundamentals, that means you accept it without any doubt. Why you have to accept it without any doubt? Because the Buddha himself found out to the bottom of it, and he clarified himself each and every details, and then he taught us. So whatever that the Buddha taught us from his own mouth and as dharma, so that is the fundamentals. So regarding fundamentals, you cannot have a doubt or you cannot have a question. As example, that maybe if somebody asks regarding someone's name, you don't know about it. And maybe you have a doubt about it. So that is conventional knowledge. But here, the doubt means not about conventional knowledge or details. The fundamentals in the details regarding the Buddha's teaching, especially the Four Noble Truths. Then you should know what is the dukkha, what is suffering, and impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, and selflessness. So the way that explain the fundamentals called philosophy, that is the teachings. There are some fundamentals. The way that fundamental explain is called teachings, and it became philosophy. You can argue about it. You can question about it. But at the same time, you cannot have a doubt. That doubt means that impermanent. Oh, maybe there is something permanent. So you cannot have that kind of idea. That doesn't mean blindly you should believe that. No, that's why you practice. So when you practice moment by moment, you have to clarify yourself these fundamentals. Otherwise, just believing or just following or just holding to something is not practicing dharma. Practicing dharma means you clarify these fundamentals are truth or not. The old enlightened masters from 2600 years to now, that whoever practiced dharma means they learn the fundamentals and they clarify themselves. They learn the philosophy or they learn the teachings, they clarify themselves. Once it come to, because that is the bottom, if you start to look, you're not going to find anything that permanent. The Buddha himself explained, because I saw to the bottom, there is nothing. So then you look into that. You look into that and then you clarify yourself. That is what, especially when it comes to the vipassana. So why this everything impermanent? Because it's like this. When you go to the bottom, when you go into something, that you can see that something happened. So it like this. This cup. If I drop this cup to this table, this cup will break. To happen that, there should be something else which not related to this cup. So this is, when it comes to causality, this is what, that to happen something, when you do something, to happen something, there is something invisible. There is something invisibly help for that. So you don't see it. You see whatever the part that you apply. So as example, you want to light a candle. If there is no oxygen around the room, you cannot do it, but you don't see it. So like that, whatever happen, when you want to do something, to happen it, there is something invisibly help for that. So this connection from your action and that invisible contribution to that action bring the result. But mostly we just follow the surface level, whatever we can see or whatever we do or whatever we hold, we see only that. And another, if I want to write something in a paper, and then you see that I'm writing and in the paper, but there is something, you have the pen and you have the paper and you have the ink. In between that's all, there is something need to be there. That is the heat. If too much heat, and this ink cannot become like that way. And as you know, sometimes in our countries, we have sometimes when too much heat, the ink start to get out of the pen. So we don't see this connection. So it always, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness govern this all the material world. And the very nature of the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, the change. So then when you see something, that you want, that as example, you want to see the book. You want to see the book. You become very happy when you see the book. So the book appear and you see it. So it is an action and then you get the result. But to happen this, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness invisibly help for us. So another thing is, through this all the material things to happen, invisibly heat, motion, liquidity, hardness help. So according to the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, this any material can change. And even this iron, this one, if we put too much heat, what will happen to this? This will melt. So like that, this everything depend on heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, outside world. So it always changeable. So if something come out of the changeable world, so then what you experience cannot be permanent. whatever appear out of the changeable world, whatever the appearance cannot be permanent. So if the A changeable, out of that A, B cannot be permanent. And then your I, this also belong to physical world, because the main reason, the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness. So it depend, our body depend on that. So then this I, and when you see something with this, you need this physical eye. So then physical eye also change. So then the outside, the material world change, and inside this physical eye change. And out of that, eye consciousness come. So that consciousness cannot be permanent, cannot be solid. So that is the very basic level of understanding when it go to the change. So that is where in the when it come to the fundamental teachings, why it say this everything changed. So then there was a question came. So why the Buddha said there is no the permanent existence in the universe as a God. Maybe there are many that the living beings, but it cannot be permanent. You know why it says like this? This is how. So this body belongs to heat, motion, liquidity and hardness. And the outside world belong to heat, motion, liquidity and hardness. That's all four elements change. And then we depending on that. So this body depending on that heat, motion, liquidity and hardness, and that body depending on change, constant change, continuous change, and move towards same direction. And so whatever then you see with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that's whatever the experience change. So then you practice meditation and attain to certain kind of high mental power or the dhyana or jhana. And then you go to the Brahma world through that jhana. You attain to the Brahma world through the jhana. Who attained? Your mind. It is a result of your mind. So your mind changing. So through the changing mind, there is no way you can attain to something unchangeable. It doesn't matter that whatever the existence you gain, in whatever the plane or the whatever the realm that you attain, because you use the changeable mind. That's why you can go there. So like that, whatever the position you attain through this mind, it always changeable. That is the very fundamental teachings when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, and especially in the Theravada tradition. So then in the Vipassana means the method that you use to see this. So that's why in the very first level, you take your body. You cannot argue about it. You cannot have a doubt about it, because you are the one who experience and you see it. So then when you see deeply, that you can recognize this body depending on parts. And that giving you kind of a wisdom. And then you observe the feelings. And then you recognize these feelings, it's kind of like moving constantly towards the same kind of direction. And like a current. You recognize that. That recognition will bring the ability to see thoughts and how the thoughts change constantly. and without any kind of authority that hold it to the experiencer, the thoughts change. So then when you deeply observe, you recognize the cause and effect and the causality, cause and conditions. And that is the fundamental teachings that we hold. Otherwise, anybody can argue, but at the same time, just verbal arguments not going to be applicable when it comes to the wisdom. You can argue regarding something, as you know, in a high court. You know, sometimes murder, if the judge is, if the lawyer is good and have a good experience, and he can win a case maybe. That doesn't mean that he's innocent. That through the verbal arguments, you cannot achieve this truth. You can achieve it by experience. So to achieve that by experience, you have to practice. So that's why as a vipassana, for practice, what the Buddha gave, for foundation, contemplating the body, contemplating the feelings, contemplating the mind, contemplating the phenomena. So if you come to that point to deeply observe, and then you will say, but to get into that observation, see, because this experience happened to you, there's something invisibly there that you're going to see that what is that invisible. But to get into this practice, you have to have the shraddha or the conviction or the faith. Otherwise, you're not going to sit and observe it. If you have a doubt regarding that, that doubt always direct you to a different place. So that's why the shraddha or the conviction and the confidence you should have regarding the teaching. So then when you come to observe, you observe without questioning it, without having any doubt. Like you hiding and waiting to catch a thief. No, you cannot do like that way. When it comes to practice, because then the mind not going to be free. You cannot do, okay, let's see what it's saying, always changing, let me see it. Okay, then you half mind, you hold the doubt. What the doubt? You hold the doubt regarding, is this really change? Maybe there is something unchangeable. That the key point that you lose because that doubt is the real doubt that block your journey. That is become hindrance. So then be very clear in the first level. So then how you can do that? That's why you have to learn a little bit and you have to see the background of the Buddha's teaching, and that will give you a confidence. Without doubt, come to practice. And while you practice, while you're sitting, you cannot have a doubt. That is the important thing. You, of course, you can have a doubt regarding all the teachings and anything, and you can question. That is very, very natural. But when you sit for practice, you cannot have it. Why? Because then the mind start to work in a different way. Then you cannot access to the truth. That's why when you sit for meditation, you have to have the total confidence to make your mind free. Because otherwise the doubt is a very, very tricky. It is a very, smart than you think. That's why even regarding, not about the meditation, even regarding anything in your life, even your own shadow, if you start to have a doubt, it can make your mind so crazy. See, for unnecessary things, if you have a doubt regarding your own shadow, your own wife, husband, children, parents, partner, then without any reason, if you have a little doubt, it going to, destroy everything. That is why it's a, when you sit, remember, you sit with the total acceptance. That is why, as you know, there are like Angulimala, you know, uh, Patachara, and Kisa Gotami. These kind of characters, why when they meet the Buddha, why they suddenly get into the Dharma? What is because they used to have the confidence, whatever they hold it to in their mind, they didn't question it. They go for it. They went for wrong, but that mental ability, when they meet the Buddha right away, it applied to the right. And they get into the Dharma. So that is the ability that you have to develop related to the fundamental. So it is a very necessary foundation for your mind. What is? Without doubt, with the total acceptance and the clarity, 100% you accept. You don't need to do it every day, all the time, but just when you practice. It is not about even meditation, that just regarding in day-to-day life, even when you cook, if you have a doubt that everybody going to get sick out of that food, you eat something with the doubt, eat some, especially eat some curd with the doubt and smelling, is this good though? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you will see what will happen to you. It's nothing, maybe nothing wrong with that. It's because the doubt means it deeply connected to this entire, that's the chemical system in your body. It changed the entire body. And with the doubt, go to sleep, what will happen to you? There are many, many dreams you cannot have. So it's everywhere, even in the physical world. With the doubt, if you hold the hand with your loved ones, you're not going to go too far. You separate. But it doesn't matter with the whoever, if you have the confident 100% and hold, it going to take you to the end of it. That is what you have to learn when you practice. It is not only meditation, because what you practice in day-to-day life, it bringing the total confident, little by little, and become a profitable skill to you. So then in day-to-day life, whatever you do, and when you do it and have the total confidence, and that is where you're going to see how it going to take you to wisdom, how it going to show you that invisible part of it, that, as I mentioned, that always things invisibly contribute to us. So you're going to see that invisible part when you have the confidence. So that's why when you have the very clear foundation with the understanding regarding the fundamentals, your teachings become more and more and more clear. Otherwise, whatever you do, it always bounce back with whatever in your mind. You cannot get something new. You get something, but it come as a photocopy of the same thing what you have. It is maybe a little bit different, but it's the same thing you gain. Because your mind that much powerful. It bounces back through everything. But maybe you think you experience something new. So you have to cut down this. During Buddha's time, in Savatthi, there was a city called Savatthi. In that Savatthi, there was a Brahman called Udaya. He had a very luxurious life, and he is a very generous man. No, young Brahman, millionaire, and every day, and he cook himself. He cook, and he giving free food for a lot of people. And early morning, around his palace, there are a lot of yogis. There are a lot of people come to take foods. But Buddha never went to that place. One day early morning, Buddha took his ball, begging ball, and start to went towards this Brahman house, Udaya Brahman house. Whole city was shocked. And so, oh, the Buddha is coming today after a long time. This is the first time the Buddha come to Udaya house. And everybody was watching. And Buddha went, and the Brahman, he was not a Buddhist. He not a follower of the Buddha. He just generous man. He giving, dana or the food to everybody. And then he was so respectfully took the bowl and make very nice meal and put it very nicely and beautifully and offer it to the Buddha with the respect. So the Buddha took it, accepted, and transferred the merits and went away. And Udaya was so happy. So on the second day also, early morning Buddha came. And the Udaya did the same thing. Third day also, Buddha came to Udaya house early in the morning. So then Udaya thought, and while he and putting all the food, saving the food to the bowl, and he was thinking himself, oh, everybody say he's Buddha, but he's so attached to my food. He's so greedy. That's why he come again and again. So he keep thinking himself. He didn't tell anything. And with that thought, he went and offered the bowl to the Buddha. And then the Buddha told Udaya, the rain come again and again. Farmers do farming again and again. The wind come again and again. So like that, Buddha start to give examples how things happen again and again. And we die again and again. We born again and again. So the very beauty of the Dharma, it always take you to known to unknown. So what is you known? The rain you see, the season change again and again. And the wind you see, it's come again and again. Farmers do farming again and again. So these things you see, and it makes sense. Oh, that's right. You accept it. And then we die again and again. So slowly you take a little bit deeper, and we born again and again. And then the Udaya got stuck. Oh, why is that? Why we born again and again? Then the Buddha told Udaya, the very reason is not something from outside, because of our repetition of the action, sanskara, repetition of the action. That is the reason for this everything. So when you do something, when you see something, listen this very carefully and be with me. When you see, as I told, when I drop this cup, it break. When even it hit the table. Why? Because the related to 4 elements, this all exists. So whatever the elements is harder, then it destroy other things. So when you see something, you think you experience something. When you hear something, you think you experience something. When you smell something, you think you experience something. When you feel eating, when taste something, you think you taste something. When you feel something, you think, oh, I feel this. Even when it come to the mind, when you think something, you think, oh, I have new idea. Oh, I have this idea. So like that. But there is invisible. Invisibly contribute to that experience. That invisible things called sanskara. Sanskara means your past experience. So if you don't see that past experience, how contribute to your this moment of experience, you will be in the samsara. You will be in the samsara. Why? Because you think, oh, I see this, I see this. But you don't see from where the contribution happened. It's like terrorist group, it's like NGOs. And sometimes this little group of people become so strong and do so. Why? Because there is somebody hiding and funding money, political parties, and or doing something suddenly. Why? Because somebody funding money. If you don't see that, if you try to fight with the people, you cannot do that. You have to find out who is funding the money to that organization. If you stop that, then they're going to become weaker. So like that, what you experience, what you gain through perception, you think, oh, I experienced something new. But you don't see deeply. Your past experience contribute to that moment. So the meditation is a method. You get into the experience and observe. In that observation, what you're going to see? You're going to see, of course, when you see something, you can recognize with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, there's consciousness. But you're going to see how your past experience contribute to that. When you stop that, this experience will happen, but it's not going to become your collective memory. That means your sanskara are going to become weaker. Your experience happens. You see, you hear, smell, taste, but there's something deeply changing you. What is that? Collective memory. Collecting memory or the sanskara, depending on sanskara, depending from the past, it's going to drop. When you drop that, that is the moment you're going to clearly experience the real life. If you have any experience depending from the past, if it is your sanskara funding to your present moment, that is not a reality. That always become illusion. That is why it called this all like a dream. So awaken one means drop the sanskara, cut the sanskara or the past experience and allow this moment to happen as it is. So that is where you'll go. Through this meditation practice, through the vipassana, that is where you're going. Because if you are able to experience that one single moment, it never going to go down. It always becoming higher, 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 take you to the next level. So then remember yourself. It, we are in a kind of like a current. That current mean what? Current mean our past habitual pattern. So when the day come for you to see that and stop, the stopping power is called your consciousness, your awareness. When you develop the awareness, when you become conscious in that very moment, your past experience not going to interfere with your present experience. When you don't have the awareness, when you don't have the clarity or the recognition, always you depending from your sanskara. So the sanskara build up the sansara. So don't allow it to happen. Why? You already have your past. You had your past. Why you want to repeat it and experience something new? And that newness always keep in your mind. And if you are able to come to the point to experience something new, that is the end of your journey. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava ettavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkayavang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.